If you have been watching some of my vlogs, you will know how I came about this mini-series, The Mind. Lately, I've been putting some of my personal thoughts on this channel. Please be advised that my personal thoughts and point of view should not be seen as a way to treat your personal problems. Perhaps some of my perspectives is just another basic social media point of view. If you have any mental issues or going through some personal situation, I will advise you to seek professional help. They will better guide you through your hardship. I appreciate you watching this video and thank you for your understanding. Now, here's the video. Enjoy. Okay, today is March 22nd, 2017, and it's 12:22 p.m. Today is a very interesting day. I was gonna say it's funny, but it's not funny if it's happened to you, but I will just say it's interesting. I was planning on vlogging today because my kids had a 2-hour delay before school start because of the snowstorm that happened yesterday. So they didn't have school yesterday. So even though they were home with me yesterday, it was snowing really hard, I didn't even feel like going outside to let them play in the snow. My husband was gonna come to take them out, but when he came back from work, he was like, the snow is not that hard for them to play in, so he's not going. So I'm not really a snow person to play in the snow because of my leg situation. But the reason I plan on vlogging earlier before they went to school, while they were here, I made them do their today's homework. Actually, I need to email their teachers to let them know because of the 2-hour delay. I made them do their homework for today because they don't allow them to do their homework before the day. So while the kids were here, I was thinking those little moments where those little thoughts are popping up. I started thinking of the things and I said, oh, I should talk about it. But because the kids were here, it was hard for me to grab the camera, set up, and then by the time I finish set up, the thought process is gone. I will come to that later. Maybe that will be in a different video because while the thought process were going, they were strong in my mind, something tells me just write them down. So whatever I was thinking is in here. So I wrote it because I couldn't vlog it. The kids were here and I didn't want to lose the thought process. So I wrote this, whatever I was thinking in there. I didn't even read them yet because whatever I wrote, this probably sounds weird or whatever, but I'll read them later and I'll explain to you. But this part, however, the reason I'm here, I'm back from outside after I dropped the kids off, is because of something that happened. While I was waiting at the bus stop, there's an Asian lady, a Chinese lady, who was working with her friends. 4 of them total, 4 women. And then focus on that. So this morning, I even have it on my phone, the time it was, the kids were still here. It was 9 o'clock. You know, I was recording just to show you they were still in the house around that time. But while they were here, those moments, because now I'm gonna be doing that little series, The Mind. I don't know why all of a sudden those little things were triggering, but I was thinking about it, and then like I said, I couldn't really pull. I could have, but the kids are here, they're gonna distract me. My thought process wasn't gonna be as normal, or the thought process wasn't gonna flow easily as I would like it to. So instead, I grabbed this. I'm probably gonna buy a notebook just for a moment like this, like when I'm in bed, I'm thinking about it, and then I can't really record, so at least I could write my thought process. So I'm just gonna read whatever I have here, and then you guys could make your own conclusion whether or not it sounds good or not. Okay, this is what I have. What is the purpose of your fight or action? Is the purpose is just? Do you believe on what you are fighting for? How do you know what you are doing is important? Are you passionate for your belief? Are you doing whatever it is you are doing for you or for others? What are you going to get out of whatever it is that you are doing? When I took my old gym to court, I felt in my deep inner core what they were doing to me was wrong. I tried to resolve the issue peacefully out of court. Instead of them accepting and approach the situation in a neutral, adult understanding, they rather try to make me feel scared or put a scare tactic that has worked for them many years. It had worked for them many years. Everyone that they did similar approach had gave up. For them, it was easy for them to intimidate me, to make me feel scared. When I know I haven't done anything wrong, it is hard for me to accept anyone's point of view. This is when the topic of knowing yourself comes into play. When I am wrong or know I've caused unintended pain onto others, I don't mind lowering myself to apologize. However, when I know deep inside I didn't do anything wrong and you try to put me down, if the situation is important to me, I will do whatever in my power to fight it. I will be all in, and I put it in quotation and cap and quotation marks. Likewise, if it doesn't mean much to me, by all means, go ahead and do what you have to do, because I will not waste my energy fighting on something that has absolutely no importance to me. All in all, I think what I was thinking of is to know which battle is worth fighting. All battles are not the same. Knowing what I was getting myself into when I decided to take the gym to court, I knew what I had on them. I also knew that they knew what I have of them. I also knew that they had a history of committing fraud in many levels because the neighborhood knew of their fraudulent practice. The thing is, all past client members never took them head on. Majority of the people get scared whenever people tell them I'm going to call or I'm going to get my lawyer or attorney. Fear, in quotation again, fear is what drives many people into the winning circle by scaring their opponent. If deep inside you know. So the camera had stopped. I don't know where the camera had stopped, but I'm gonna start all over. So pretty much this morning I knew I was going to record. I was gonna do a recording about the mind, because while the kids were here, they had a 2-hour delay due to the yesterday's snowstorm. So while they were here, I was thinking of it's one of those moments where my mind is thinking of stuff and I felt like maybe I should share them. So because they were here, it was hard for me to pull the camera and get set up and things like that. So I decided to write them down, and I started reading it, whatever I wrote, but the camera had stopped. I don't know where it stopped from, so instead of starting all over, I'm just gonna create this one by itself. So this is what I wrote this morning while the kids were here, some of the thought process that were going in my mind. Okay, here we go. What is the purpose of your fight or action? Is the purpose just? Do you believe on what you are fighting for? How do you know what you are doing or you're fighting for is important? Are you passionate for about your belief? Are you doing whatever it is you are doing for you or for others? What are you going to get out of whatever it is you are fighting for, or whatever it is you are doing? When I took my old gym to court, I felt in my deep inner core what they were doing to me was wrong. I tried to resolve the issue peacefully out of court. Instead of them accepting and approach the situation in a neutral adult understanding, they rather try to make me feel scared or put a scare tactic that has worked for them many years. It had worked for them many years. Everyone that they did similar approach to had gave up. For them, it was easy to intimidate me to make me feel scared. When I know I haven't done anything wrong, it is hard for me to accept anyone's point of view. This is when the topic of knowing yourself comes into play. When I am wrong or know I cause unintended pain onto others, I don't mind lowering myself to apologize. It's not wrong or it's not bad to apologize to anybody. That I did not write, but I'm just saying that. However, when I know deep inside I didn't do anything wrong and they try to put me down, if the situation is important to me, quote, I will do everything in my power to fight it. I will be all in. I put this in cap, end quote. Likewise, if the situation doesn't mean much to me, by all means, go ahead and do whatever you have to do to please yourself, because I will not waste my energy fighting on something that has absolutely no importance to me. All in all, I think what I was thinking of is to know which battle is worth fighting. All battles are not the same. Knowing what I was getting myself into when I decided to take the gym to court, I knew what I had on them. I also knew that they knew what I had of them. I also knew that they had a history of committing fraud in many levels because the neighborhood knew of their fraudulent practice. The thing is, all past clients, members, never took them head on. Majority of them get scared whenever people tell them, I'm going to get my lawyer or attorney. This is true. This part I didn't write. Whenever people hear something where people say, I'm going to call my lawyer, I'm going to call my attorney, all of a sudden everybody gets scared. But if you didn't do anything wrong, they could call their attorney. Their attorney is not cheap. So, okay? That part I didn't write, but back to what I was writing. Fear, and quotation mark and cap, fear is what drives many people into the winning circle by scaring their opponents. If deep inside you know you are doing the right thing, no amount of fear should deter you. Settling out of court was cheaper for them. Okay? Once they knew that their scare tactic didn't faze me, their next step was, and their final step, and I believe that was from their attorney advice, was for them to settle out of court. Right? I didn't take it because I had enough with them. That I did not write. What was my goal calling the gym to court? My goal was for them to stop their fraudulent practice. I did not accept their settlement. Even during mediation, the attorney kept mumbling some scare words, some crazy stuff during the mediation. All I kept telling the mediator, you're wasting your time with me being here because I'm not gonna settle. All right, so that's all I wrote here, but I'm gonna continue because I had to take the kids. It was time now. So yeah, so pretty much people win based on fear. Once they put fear into people, their opponent usually give up before they even give their all. Sometimes you have to give your all if you truly believe on your cause. It's easy for anybody to give up. But if you believe on what you're doing, no matter what it is, if you believe in it, you have to fight for it. The same way they're fighting for what they believe, you have to fight for what you believe also. Nobody's gonna hand to you your belief. your peace of mind. Okay, you have to fight for it. So during mediation, while I'm thinking of this, there's something else I want to say before you call people to court. So during mediation, during the hearing, right? I don't know if it's everywhere, so I'm not usually in court, but during mediation, before it goes to the judge, there's a mediator. The court provide you a mediator to see if you could settle your issues before you see the judge, right? So it's usually they're trying to put peace before, peace and quiet before you go to the judge, right? But the problem with my situation was that I tried. My very first step, the very first thing that I did was to do the mediation. I approached them peacefully and I told them, okay, I'm gonna pay you the amount of time that I was there and then give me back the rest of my money. No, they didn't, and I didn't have a contract with them. It's very important to understand that. There was no signed contract. So I tried to, the best reasonable I felt that they should have taken, right? No, they want it all. They said they want everything. I talked to them, and then instead of accepting the thing, they keep on charging my card different numbers, more and more and more and more. And I'm like, what's going on? That's when I decided to put a fraud charge on my credit card, and I said, that's enough. All right? So after I tried my best from the beginning, from the very first step, I tried to do the mediation, but they avoided. Instead, they still tried to take more from me. So I've done all the hard work for like 2 months. Now I'm in court. They really pissed me off to the core. And then all of a sudden, after I did all the work, did the filing and find all my information, and then you want to settle? Hell no. I don't care if I lose in front of the judge, but the judge needs to hear what you guys were doing, and then it could be on record that this is the type of person you guys are, what you did to me. So all of my information about that is in public record. All right? And if I was really deep, mean, and have mean intent, the second time that I called them to court is because someone else was with me on the paper, and then she didn't want to continue. She didn't want to, what's the word? They did some crazy shit in the court. If I really wanted to, there's people in the court that could have lost their job because some of the lies their attorney were doing was not recorded on the audio. So the plan was already there, because from the first trial, the judge has said if anything like that were to come back to court, automatically I'll win. So their lawyer did some crazy shit in the court where not only the person who was recording the audio did not record the lies that the attorney was saying. They were using their phone, their cell phone in the court. Even the court marshal who's in there said you're not supposed to use your phone, but he was still using it, and I believe he was communicating with the person who was recording the thing. Now, if I really wanted to fight them head on more, I would, there's a word where you don't agree with the result of the trial and to bring it back up again. But my what is it, not defendant, the person who called them to court, they I can't think of the name, but I'll find it when I'm editing this video. But the person who was on the paper with me did not want to fight, but I was already all in, and I was ready to fight further. And then that person who failed to record what was going on, they could have done an investigation on her, and then not only would she go to jail, lose her job and everything, that attorney could have lost his license if I wanted to. But I decided to leave it alone. And the thing is, the reason I felt like I won the battle, the very first time I called them to court, They knew. They knew I had something on them. They knew I knew what they were doing. They had 2 attorneys. Okay? 2. If you know about attorneys, find how much they charge per hour. Okay? Just find how much the attorneys charge per hour. They don't come to court with you for no reason. Now, this is why I knew the judge, the very first judge, knew what I had on them. Because at the beginning, when I present my case, I told the court that the reason I let it go the first time, because the amount that they were stealing from me was in cents, 35 cents. But to test, to see if that was a mistake, I did the same process again the second time, the following year, and the same procedure had happened. You need to look at my videos for Gym Ordeal. It's back 2016 or something like that. I explained my situation completely. So the second time I tried to renew my membership, the gym owner did the same thing and did not get, this is where I don't think it's a mistake, but because I learned from what he did to me the year before, I did not allow him to let a employee to give me the contract, because that's what they did the first time. He let the employee give me the contract. That way, if I somehow able to see the mistake, guess who he's gonna blame? The employee. The employee made a mistake with the numbers, and you will not believe how he plays with the numbers. A 0 can turn to a 8. Okay, what is it? Numbers that look similar could be switched to the highest for his advantage. All right. So when I saw that it was playing with numbers, I wanted to see if that was a mistake. The same thing happened the following year. This time he took more. It was $1 something. That's when I realized that mistake, and I said, okay, last time, the year before, I allowed employee to give me the contract. Therefore, he could easily blame it on the employee. So this time, both of my kids were at school. I could go to the gym anytime. So I made sure I went to the gym the same time that I know the owner will be here. That way he could come to me and say, here's the contract, sign the contract, right? In court, he claimed, okay, this is what, it's in record. He claimed he's not allowed to give contract. I don't know any owners who cannot give contract, all right? But because I present that step to the judge, that was my very first argument to the judge, and I think the judge got it. I showed her my proof of what I was talking about. She got it the minute. Their attorney object to it for me to show to the judge, but the judge declined them, said she wants to see what I'm talking about. This is why, if you know deep inside you could fight them with what you have evidence, why you have to fear for? If you're gonna lie, yes, there's things for you to fear for, all right? I had nothing to fear. I was gonna say what I knew, and I have papers to show. Now, each time I present a paper, they claim, oh, it's not the original. Okay, I print stuff through my from my computer at home. They claim, oh, it's not from the bank directly and stuff like that. Guess what? I made sure. I don't know why I did that. I'm no knowledge in this kind of things. Not only did I print my own version, I asked the bank. I request for their original copies. Not only that, I went to the bank and have them sign it. Okay, so the stamp from the bank, my local branch, have a stamp on it. Okay, that's why I knew what I had. They cannot reject. They cannot say, oh, I forged anything. I even went to the bank and have it notarized. This is where their fear was coming to me. I mean, they were throwing their fear tactic. It didn't faze me. You could say anything you want. I know what I have, right? So when the judge knew my very first argument knew what I had. Everything that the attorney was trying to block, the judge said, no, it's allowed. You copy it from, if it come from the directly from the bank website, it's proof. It's proof. And then I showed them the copy of what I got from directly from the bank with their notarization and stuff like that. I gave it to them. Now, what the judge did, and this is where I think while I was, the moment I was in court, and I knew if they find them guilty of fraudulent behavior and credit card fraud, they could go to jail. I have 2 kids, all right? That's where I stepped back a little bit. I didn't fight them that head on. I even had a witness with me. I didn't even call her. Okay, she was the one who came on the second trial. She was the one who was on, it's not defendant. What's the other one? Defendant is the person who's defending the thing. I can't think of that term right now. So she was the one who came with me the second time. She put her name on the paper too, because just because she came to court with me, all of a sudden they did almost the same thing to her just because she was in court with me. That's how bad those people are. So back to the thing in court, the judge knew what I had in them, and she knew I didn't really need their money or something like. Don't get me wrong, we always need money, but that's not the way I wanted to get money, right? I wanted them to stop. Just stop their nonsense, their stupidity, right? The judge, let me see, they call us from 8 o'clock. Our trial was still in the court until 5 o'clock. Now, when I said, look how much attorney charge per hour, just imagine 2 attorneys stays in court, 2 attorneys stay in court with you, trying to defend you from not going to jail, from 8 o'clock till 5 o'clock. Find how much is that per hour, okay? After they did their nonsense, they were trying to still scare me. Couple months later, the gym closed. So this is, you know, it's just crazy. So you have to know which battle you have to fight for. Now, the other thing that came to mind when I was talking about that is that you really have to be careful before you call somebody to court. You really, really need to be careful. Why I said that? Because the table can easily turn. Okay? You don't call people to court because you feel there's a way you could get money out of them. Okay? That's not the point for the court system. That's abusing the system. If, like for instance, my situation, if you, they really bothering you, they really get, and you know, the best way you feel to get them off your back is to go to court, and you have proof to defend every word that come out of your mouth. Everything you say in court, you need to have some proof. You need to have proof. You cannot just say A and then there's no A as proof. You cannot say Z and then you have no proof for Z. Everything you said, you have to have proof. Don't abuse the power. Don't use the court as your bank system, because the table can easily turn. If, for instance, I had taken them to court, right? And then I didn't have no proof whatsoever, right? And then the judge said, okay, they won, you lose, like I lost. I didn't lose, by the way. I didn't lose, I didn't win. It's just that I don't think I fought hard enough to further defend my thing, because all the papers that they were asking to to counter whatever I said, I just let it go. I could easily say no, I object to whatever it is because of whatever it is. But at that moment when I realized there's a possibility they could go to jail, I didn't care anymore. Those part where I told the judge they stole from me the year before, and then the second year they stole again, but he refused to give me a contract, and then he claimed I was under a contract. The judge saw what I was saying. So that, and I have proof to back everything that I said. And then he changed the numbers and plays with the numbers. The judge saw, and I believe that's why the judge kept the thing from early in the morning to afternoon. I really had to call somebody to go get my kids to school and everything. So if, for instance, the judge had said, I lost, but they won, guess what they could have done? And I heard him saying, are we gonna countersue? Those stupid motherfuckers. They're so hungry for money. They're hungry for money. All they were saying, can we countersue them? They could have countersued me for whatever they want, because I have nothing. The judge prevent them from countersuing me. But she said, if anything between me and them go to court again, judgment will go for me automatically without anything. And that's why they did what they did the second time we went to court. If I had had a lawyer or attorney to represent me, it could have gone a different way, but that was I don't know, I could have, I should have, but let me just say, I gave my best approach. They left me alone. I'm hoping I move on, and that's it. So that's it. I'm gonna make the pizza dough. I'm not gonna record it, and that's it. Thanks for watching, and let me know what you think of my little thought process. I believe I said what was the 2 key point here. There were 2 key points that I wanted to say. I believe, likewise. Okay, all battles are not the same. Not every fight is the same. Know which one you could win and which one you cannot. Okay, so that's one of the key points. All battles are not the same. And there was another thing at the beginning. I believe I said, what is the purpose of your fight or your action? Is it just? Is your action is just, or do you believe on what you are fighting for? Or how do you know what you are doing is important to you? Okay, are you passionate about your belief? So if you're really passionate about something, you're gonna give all your best for it. Okay, are you doing whatever it is you are doing for you or for others? All right, so there's different little battles that are out there. Pick the one that you know you could win. You don't do things for other people unless if you know it is just, it is important, or it's something. Usually it's good to fight a battle for others. Why? Because it might help a vast. Okay, so this is different little battles. That's what I mean. All battles are not the same. So you have to choose your battle, know which one is important, which one is just wasting your time, pretty much. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and again, please let me know what you think. These are those little crazy moments that usually popped in my mind, and lately I think I'm gonna start recording them, and moments that I cannot record at the moment, I'll try to jot them down and then just read them. That's it. Thanks for watching.